One of the most distressing kinds of sessions that I've had over the years is someone will come in and they'll go, I think that my husband or my wife is being unfaithful. What do I do? This is a devastating thing to fear. Now, when this happens, my first response always is, have a conversation with them. Oh, I couldn't do that. He would be so upset. She would be so upset. I'll go, no, have a conversation. Tell them exactly what it is. You've been gone more. You've been hanging out more with this other person. You've been hiding your phone. Whatever the sign is that you've been thinking, you've been emailing secretly, talk to them about it and see what happens. And usually people will go and do that, and they'll find a couple of things. They'll find one thing, my partner isn't cheating, but they're being secretive for some other reason. And then that leads into issues that need attention. I'll ask them to come in as a couple and we'll work on it. And there's a lot of things that can happen around that. And it's a lot less painful than if it does indeed end up that their partner is cheating. And so now a couple comes in and here we are. He cheated on me. And he goes, yeah. And then we start dealing with this. Now the first thing that I tell a couple is, all right, what do you want to do with this? Do you want this to turn out? Because if both of them don't want to get back to love with each other, then it's not going to work. I'm a good therapist, but I'm not a miracle worker. I can't help people get back to love if both people don't want to get back to love. So we have to establish that. And sometimes people don't know. They go, I think I want to, but I'm not sure. And I'll say, that's fine, that's legitimate. You don't have to know. You just have to ask yourself the question and be honest. And if they say, I don't think that I do, or I might, maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I'd like to, I'll say, well, let's try and see, and we'll work on that. Sometimes they go, yes, we do. And then we start going through the steps. And I'll tell the couple, we're going to do these steps, and 8 months from now, 12 months from now, we're going to actually begin to deal primarily with the actual foundation issues of alienation, lack of communication, ambivalence about sexuality, sexual compulsivity, erotic polarity that you don't really understand, dissociation, those kinds of things. We're going to be dealing with those in 8 or 10 months. And those are the things that we would have been dealing with right now if you hadn't have cheated. And the bottom line is somebody that goes out and has a secret affair is doing violence to their partner. If you have a secret affair with someone that is married, you're doing violence to their partner. And that's one of the reasons that there's 100 reasons that I have a secret affair. But once it happens, we need to deal with it in a responsible fashion. Sometimes someone will come in and go, I want to stop seeing my lover, but I don't want to tell my husband or wife about it. Once in a great while, a marriage can get better under those circumstances, but usually not. Usually it has to be processed. Now, you can hear the tone of my voice as I talk. The work in these relationships is generally sad. There's a sadness, there's anger, there's a sense of tiredness. And a couple really have to be motivated to get back to love. Now we're getting to the happy part. The happy part is some of the happiest couples and the best families that I know are couples that started their work on themselves and each other when one person cheated and they both decided they wanted to get through it. And to get through it, both people had to change. They had to transform. They had to mature in certain ways. They had to have deeper communication, more self-awareness. They had to have more conscious eroticism. They had to face their sexuality, however it was, and learn more about it. And as they did that, they discovered things about each other and themselves, and some of these couples became better lovers, and they became better partners, and then they had kids, and they became, I'm thinking of several families just right off the bat right now. One couple has a couple of daughters and are doing really, really well, everybody, all 4 of them. And it started out with a secret affair that was a tremendous, devastating, long-term betrayal that left both partners physically sick and emotionally shaken. But they had the courage and the willingness to work through it. So what do you do if you are frightened that your partner's cheating or you found that they're cheating? You ask yourself, do I want to get through? Do I want to get back to love with this person? And then you get help. And if your partner's willing to do it and you're willing to do it, willing to do the work, a lot of stuff is possible. but it's a big deal. And that's what you do if you're frightened that your partner's having an affair, or if you know your partner's having an affair, or if you're having an affair. You might be getting sick, you might be going crazy. What do? Go talk to a therapist, and what you're going to have to do is stop seeing your lover, bring your partner in, your husband or your wife, work through the steps. And the only way you get through that kind of trauma, like all traumas, is you need to be stronger and wiser and more deeply in love with each other on the other side. That's the only thing that makes trauma acceptable. If you can't get there, then it'll become a wound that you'll keep going back to again and again. So there's a lot more pressure to grow. And that's what you sign up for, really, that responsibility and that challenge if you allow yourself to have a secret affair. And that's the challenge that you are just handed if your partner has a secret affair.